Hello toy fans, my name is Tony and welcome back to the Analog Toys YouTube channel. Now before we get into our restoration video today, I just want to give you a quick update on sort of where we're at with regards to our video production here at Analog Toys. Now I've had to actually move house twice within the last 9 months. It's caused quite a lot of disruption and anyone who's ever moved house before when you own a large toy collection, although I moved 8 weeks ago, it's taken all that time to sort of get the collection back out on display and get the studio and everything set up. But now that we're there, I don't see us moving again. We're not moving house anytime soon, and we should be here for several years. So we've got a lot of great content planned, so stay tuned. Now let's get into today's restoration video. Now for anyone who collects vintage Action Man, particularly the Eagle Eye era, or as some people call it, the blue pants era, because the Action Man came molded with blue pants on his body as opposed to the all naked original figure. There was I wouldn't exactly call it a design flaw, but there was a flaw within the type of rubber used that connected the neck post to the head on the dynamic physique Action Man figures produced by Palitoy, first produced in 1978. Now this wasn't a flaw at the time of production, but due to the type of rubber used, it became a flaw for many collectors later on, as this particular piece of rubber, now it's the only piece of rubber used in the entire construction of a dynamic physique Action Man figure, but this rubber would actually perish over time. It would break and Action Man's head would fall off. Now there's quite a few other videos around on YouTube on how to repair an Action Man head, but I've been collecting Action Man quite seriously for 24 years now. I reckon that I've probably repaired the heads on more than 100 different Action Man figures during my sort of time as a collector, and my methods over those last 28 years or 24 years, my methods have certainly improved somewhat, and what I want to show you today is what I find to be the quickest and the easiest way to repair an Action Man head. So I have here my late issue Eagle Eye Action Man German Stormtrooper, and as you can see, he's lost his head. So let's see how we go about getting this repaired. Okay, so the items you're going to need for today's restoration are a small washer. Now this is not essential, but I certainly find that it helps secure the elastic that we're going to use to the neck post, and I'll explain that as we go along. Some thin round elastic, about 3mm in diameter. Doesn't really matter the colour because you won't be able to see it once the Action Man is repaired. A pair of tweezers, a flat bladed screwdriver, and a pair of scissors, and of course your broken Action Man. I don't recommend trying to do this repair with the Action Man still dressed. You don't want to damage the uniform or any of the accessories. So the first thing I always do before a repair like this is actually strip the Action Man down to naked, do the repair, and then dress him again. So let's get started by stripping this Action Man down. Now this particular Action Man, this has actually been repaired before. I don't know if it's one that I repaired. I've had this in my collection for a number of years, but it was simply repaired with an elastic band, and just like the original rubber connection from the body to the neck post, these obviously deteriorate and break. I certainly don't recommend using rubber bands to repair your Action Man neck posts. However, if your Action Man hasn't been repaired before, quite often you'll find that the old piece of rubber will still be extending up out of the neck of the Action Man. And in this scenario, you need to cut that away. So use a scalpel of some sort. Now, if you can see in there, there's the neck post. There's a pin rather through the neck of the body of the Action Man figure where the rubber connector protrudes out from. And if you still have the original rubber piece in there, we don't need it anymore. It's only going to get in the way. So use a small scalpel or a razor, cut that away and pull it out with the tweezers. Okay, so what we need to do now, the first stage is to get the elastic around this pin in the top of the body. And what I do is I take a length of this elastic. Now you're going to need quite a bit of elastic to work with to make it easier to handle. So I double it over to about 12-15 centimeters each side, so about 25 to 30 centimeters of elastic altogether. We're going to make a cut, move away the rest of the elastic. Now the most difficult thing here, and why it often takes a long time to re-string an Action Man head, is getting this elastic down and back up around the neck post. But what I found is if I double over this elastic, then put a small knot in it, like so, and I hold it down now. Now the elastic comes down and naturally wants to point back upwards. So all I have to do now is feed this inside the hole in the top of the neck of the Action Man, twist it around and lift it up to get this the other side of the post, and then pull it through with the tweezers. So let's see how quickly I can get this done. Might need that knot a little bit smaller, so we'll just put it a little bit tighter there. I'm going to feed that in. There we go, just like that. Okay, so once you've got the elastic through, then just untie the knot we made earlier. Okay, so we now have the elastic through the internal pin that holds the neck post. Okay, now that we've got our elastic connected, we need to feed this through the neck post. Now, as you can see inside the original Action Man neck post here, there's a slot. Now, what you can do is just feed both ends of the elastic through, tie a double knot, and let it go. And normally that will hold. But I have found over time, if the knot is pulled too tight and is a little bit small, it can actually slip back through, and then you've got to restring the head again. So what I like to do is pull the elastic through and then use a washer, or in this case I'm going to use a small nut. So I'm going to feed the elastic through the neck post, then through the nut, and then do the double knot. So let's see how we go here. That's the neck post threaded through. Then thread it through the nut. A wash is probably better, but I didn't have any to hand, so but here we go. Here's the nut that's going to hold it all in place once we're done. Now we've got that on, and the nut's going to sit inside the recess inside the neck post. What I need to do now is pull the elastic nice and tight, just with both ends, double them over. Sometimes tweezers makes this a little bit easier. Whoops. You know, if I didn't have this camera in a way, I promise you I would have done this first time. Trying to operate the camera and do this at the same time makes me look very amateur. Okay, here we go. So pull the elastic nice and tight, get the knot down as low as possible. And there we go. As you can see, we have our elastic, our neck post, and the nut is just going to help prevent that knot from pulling back through the neck post. And once we're done with the double knot, snip off the remaining ends of elastic. They're no longer required. And there, our Action Man neck post is now repaired. This is the easy bit. We take our Eagle Eyes Action Man head, Slide it onto the neck post, and then with a firm click, this Action Man is now repaired. As you can see, his neck will hold all the poses there. The friction between the plastics, you know, the elastic works very, very well. So that is quite very simply how to repair a dynamic physique Action Man with a broken neck post. So all we've got to do now is redress the figure and we're done. And so there we have our fully repaired Action Man Eagle Eye German Stormtrooper. So I really hope you guys found this video useful and that it can help you repair a few of the broken neck posts on some of your dynamic physique Action Man figures. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.